That's how Conor McGregor looked less than 2 years ago. Now he looks like this. He looks like he's gotten bigger all over, from his face to his body. In some pictures, it's hard to tell that he's the same person. You might think the pictures were just taken at an odd angle, but putting together a new interview with McGregor and an old one from 2021 makes it clear that there is something else going on. His face looks swollen in a way that can't be explained by gaining weight, and his bones look like they've changed totally. Though the changes in his words and behavior may be scarier than the changes in his appearance. It was said that Conor could talk trash with great charm and take down his opponents before they even stepped into the cage. He was the only guy who could get people excited about a fight, just by being himself. Conor was the fastest, smartest, and most interesting person to listen to. But if you listen to him talk in recent conversations, you might not believe he was ever that person. People who are questioning him look at him blankly and with confused faces. He seems to have a hard time putting together a sentence. In this short amount of time, McGregor has changed so much. What the heck is going on with him? Everything starts on July 10, 2021, when Conor and Dustin Poirier fought in the cage for the third time. It was time for these two to settle their score. Conor wasn't nearly as good of a boxer as he used to be because he had lost some big fights and hadn't done much in the years before this. A lot was riding on his performance. We can see hints of the old Conor in the first 2 minutes of the fight. He threw more leg kicks and relied less on his fighting, making him look lighter on his feet. But Poirier started to take control after the fight went to the ground in the second half of the first round. After getting back up in the last few seconds, it looked like Conor had lived. Things went horribly wrong when he stepped back on his left leg and it broke. Conor was taken out of the arena on a bed because his injury was so bad. He had to be rushed to the hospital and have surgery for 3 hours, during which rods, plates, and screws were put into his leg. He was lucky that the surgery went well, and he used Twitter to reassure his friends. But his positive outlook wouldn't change the truth. He wasn't going to fight again for a long time. Anderson Silva took over a year to heal from a similar break in 2013. That's how hard it can be to get better after an injury like that. It's likely that Conor knew this, and his team would have offered suggestions on how to help and speed up his healing. Not long after his surgery, Conor quietly dropped out of the testing pool for the US Anti-Doping Agency. All current UFC athletes are in this pool. Since he didn't have to worry about random drug tests anymore, he could take whatever drugs he wanted. This is when we first noticed changes in his body. He started to look bigger, with arms, neck, and traps that were especially obvious getting bigger. His face and maybe even his hands got bigger too. His skin started to turn pink, which it hadn't done before, and his face started to look swollen and puffy. Many people thought it was because he had gained weight, but naked pictures of him from around that time show that he hadn't gained much fat since the fight, even though he looked a lot bigger. It looked like he was losing his hair even faster, so he chose to shave it all off. By December 2021, Conor had become a true leader. It was hard to think that he looked like this only 5 months before. As of 2022, there were rumors that Conor would be coming back to the UFC. This led to a lot of attention being paid to his new body. Once it was known that Conor hadn't been tested by USADA since the third quarter of 2021, many UFC athletes said he was using steroids. On his show, Joe Rogan talked about it and said there was no way in hell that Conor was still natural. Not surprisingly, Conor didn't like this and made fun of Joe on Twitter. At this point, though, almost everyone thought McGregor was up to something. After deciding to shave his beard off in November 2022, everyone could see how much he had changed. People noticed that Conor looked very different from the last time they saw him. What the heck did I miss? You look very different. Who the hell is that person? That guy ate Conor. His hands looked like oven mitts, and his face looked way too big. There was a clear buildup of soft tissue around his mouth and cheeks. Because of this, and the fact that he was still getting bigger and had gained a lot of lean mass, it was almost certain that he was cutting. But the real question was what Conor had been taking. Well, Zac Efron has changed in a way that is similar to how Conor did. In April 2021, a video of Zac that showed he looked very different stunned everyone. Like Conor, his mouth had gotten bigger and his face became fuller and swollen all around. Another thing you could see was that his face was getting pinker, just like Conor's. A lot of people thought he had plastic surgery, but Zac didn't talk about his change until the next year. He said the changes in his face were due to an accident he had at home. He hurt his chin pretty badly when he slipped while running through his house.
I didn't really.
No?
I didn't feel it at all.
When
my mom told me, I don't really read the internet, so I don't really give
Good for you.
yeah, it was just if that's the direction that it was going, it's maybe it's time
to get plastic surgery. He wouldn't get that. Come on.
You got a good job, man.
Nah,
Oh my God.
His accident happened in 2013, so it's hard to believe what he's saying. He said that his jaw didn't start to grow until 2021 because he stopped going to rehab. This may be true, but there's another reason he might have gone through these changes. There were shots of Zach on the set of his new movie in 2022. In it, he plays the professional wrestler Kevin Von Erich. A lot of people were surprised by the pictures because he looked much bigger than he ever had before and had a bubble gut, which is a clear sign of drug use. He looked like the Liver King more than Zac Efron, and we all know how high the Liver King is. A lot of people think that both Conor and Zach are taking human growth hormone, which is one of these drugs. Human growth hormone can change the way people look in many ways, including making their hands and feet bigger, their faces bigger, and their skin rough, oily, and thicker. People like Joe Rogan, who has admitted to using human growth hormone in the past, have gone through these kinds of quick changes. Many other famous people who have been linked to the drug have also gone through similar changes. When people use human growth hormones, their bodies change in many ways. We can see these changes in Conor and Zach. Given the possible side effects, you might wonder why anyone would take this stuff. But for Conor, it was very important. Human growth hormone is known to help injuries heal faster by speeding up the repair of bones and even muscle tissue. This is exactly what Conor wanted with his broken leg in 2021. This is why he quit the USADA testing pool. Human growth hormone is on their list of drugs that are not allowed. Still, he's also shown signs of steroid use, so it's not likely that human growth hormone is the only drug he's taking. Besides the clear muscle gain, Conor has also shown signs like hair loss, which he seems to have fixed with a hair transplant, and changes in the color of his skin, which we already talked about. These effects happen a lot when you take steroids. As Conor's appearance has stayed different, it's possible that he's still on the drugs he started taking for his leg, even though it's better now. He looks really happy with his new body, and I don't think he's in a hurry to lose it. The drugs he's taking can't be good for him, but they're only one of many things that are slowly killing him. Everyone in the UFC knows about Conor's crazy career and how strong he was at his best. He was the first fighter to become a two-division champion at the same time, and he was in some of the most famous fights in UFC history. There have been other boxers who have done this since then, though, and they aren't as well known or famous as McGregor. The reason for this is that Conor was different from everyone else. He was great on the mic.
Who the is that guy? Who the is that? You know damn well who I am. Who the is that? Oh my God. I don't know. When I take that guy's belt, leprechaun. Oh, good one. When I take that guy's belt, I'm looking around. I don't know what anyone else has for me around here. I might have to jump up and drag Floyd Mayweather out of bed and see what the he's at again.
Preserve Boxing released a film on May 20th, 2023, in which sports reporter Ariel Helwani talked to Conor. You could tell right away that this wasn't the same Conor you used to know.
You know,
Be there, right?
getting right up here, you might think, oh, so sponsors, you know, cost up there. I was gonna be to their way, I couldn't. I'm just trying. I'm gonna be training it.
You might have thought he was drunk, but he tells Ariel right away that he's not going to drink today, even though the beer is tempting him.
It's almost like torture to me, because this point sitting here now, a few minutes training, I'm not going to drink it. This will be if I'm not going to drink, because I'm going to train 3 times a day. And I tell you why, when I trained this morning, I don't usually train 3 times. I just feel like 3 times a day. I'm a little man. It's just a big fight tomorrow for KD, and Sam 18, you know what I mean? I love it so much, and I'm so invested in it, and I want to say I do well. I wanted both ladies and all the competitors to be safe as well. So I'm going to train 3 times because it's going to take that anxiety out of me. I trained this morning with my boxing coach Phil. I'll do some weight training later on, and then I'm going to do sprints tonight to finish off tonight. So I don't know what they put down here for, obviously just to get it. Look how glorious that is. It's sitting there in a minute now. It's sitting there about 10 minutes ago, so the head hasn't go.
It was very hard to hear him during the whole interview, and he kept licking his lips, which is a clear sign that he was high on cocaine. It was clear that Ariel was having a hard time speaking because Conor kept going on and on at 100 miles per hour.
So I felt that Mendes was going to hurt him and drop him. But he was, because he's going to get back, he's going to get the 8 count, get back to his feet. And then he's going to go into that mode, and he's going to start getting the better of him and break him down. And that's exactly what happened. So when so I was kind of cornering and but in my head I'm saying, I hope these guys don't, although they might come out safe. Yeah, wouldn't you know what I mean? I enjoyed it.
Most of the comments on the video were about how certain people were that Conor was high or drunk. It was True Geordie who summed up how scary this is in his analysis of the clips.
The difficulty that Conor McGregor has in even just finishing a sentence here is very bizarre. So there's a constant licking of the lips throughout all of these interviews, and he can't keep his attention on Ariel Helwani for 2 seconds. Again, with the strange mouth movements constantly, his mouth can't stop going here.
After watching True Geordie's video, Conor did what he always does and got angry on Twitter.
Do you wanna go to war, man, yeah? Do you wanna go to fucking war? We'll go to war with you, yeah? Security, you little sausage of a thing. Well, how security set you up? Where'd you stay when you're in Vegas again, pal? Little Apex fanny pad. Keep my name out of your fucking mouth in any type of threatening behaviour, or I'll walk through your front door. You up like you little dope. You up the manx, yeah? Go back where you belong, you little clown. You little sprinter.
The facts are still the same, no matter how mean you are. True Geordie was right. Conor has been partying more than ever since he got hurt, and it looks like he's been drinking and using drugs a lot. This, along with the fact that he seems to use drugs and growth hormones, has definitely hurt his health. But Conor plans to return to the octagon later this year, even though he has been living a very different life from that of a professional boxer. He is said to be facing Michael Chandler at UFC 296 in December right now. It's still not clear, though, whether this will actually happen. Before a boxer is allowed to fight, USADA makes them take 2 tests and not fail any during that time. It's possible that the fight won't happen until 2024, unless Conor gets an exception. After all the work he's done on his body over the last 2 years, I don't think McGregor will be very competitive, even if it does happen.